At the Shaolin Temple, they have a unique way of burning incense. They place the incense burner inside an iron box. Then you must strike the iron door with your fingers to offer incense. Only then do you pass the test. But he had an accident while burning incense, because he had snuck in under false pretenses, so he had to lie and claim the iron box was broken. But a nearby monk saw through his deception. The monk grabbed him and forced the incense into his hand, then pushed his hand forward forcefully. The iron box door instantly opened, but he was so flustered that his hand got stuck and couldn't be pulled out. Although the monk knew he was an imposter, he decided to give him another chance. They arrived at a wooden door, where the person ahead of him opened it with ease, but when he punched it, the door didn't budge at all. At this point, he let the person behind him go first, but as the other person opened the wooden door, he stepped on the person's foot and ran inside. However, he froze as soon as he entered. He saw people training with wooden posts, some even practicing iron head kung fu with sandbags. He was so frightened he nearly fainted, but soon he was drawn to another scene. For each step forward they took, someone would throw a tile onto the ground. To increase the difficulty, they had poured oil all over the floor. The man curiously decided to try it, but he missed the tile that was thrown, and knocked down several people in front of him. Seeing this, the monk immediately grabbed his foot, and pushed him forward forcefully. As a result, his head plunged into a barrel full of oil. Everyone around burst into laughter at his appearance. Soon, a high-ranking monk heard the commotion and came over. The man quickly knelt down to request apprenticeship. Although the high monk knew he had snuck in, he didn't expose him. Instead, he told him to wash his hair clean. However, the washing method was rather unusual. He could only throw stones into the well, and use the splashing water to wash his hair. Only after cleaning his hair could he become an apprentice. He picked up stones and threw them into the well, but the water either splashed outside, or onto his pants. Not only did he fail to clean his hair, he made his face even dirtier. But he didn't give up. He raised the stones again and again, and threw them into the well time after time. Finally, after a month of throwing, he mastered the rhythm of the splashing water. He could precisely predict where the water would splash. However, after cleaning his hair, he suddenly remembered he was wearing a wig. He had no choice but to dye his hair white, and seek apprenticeship from the high monk the next day. But the high monk suddenly reached for his hair, forcing him to dodge quickly. Yet he hadn't noticed that, during the month of throwing stones, his body had become more agile than before. It turned out that the hair washing task was the high monk's test for him. The high monk took the opportunity to cup the man's face, and removed his wig. The man thought the high monk would send him away, but instead, the high monk kept him at Shaolin Temple to learn kung fu.